Hi everyone, welcome to the Internet Storyteller, where I share the latest, greatest, and sometimes the most horrific stories of the internet. Please do like and subscribe, thank you so much. A link to each story will be in the corresponding description below. Today we've got some entitled parent stories. The first entitled parent story is, "You're just too dumb to breathe, so let me play with your asthma spray." Or, "How a 7-year-old almost killed me." It's not entirely an entitled parent story, but more of an entitled teacher story. This happens way back in 2003 when I was in the 2nd grade. I was never any popular or had many friends in school, but especially in elementary school, I was just the overweighted girl who could not stand up for herself and got beaten up from the start. I was easily scared, and so my destiny was sealed for the following years. Also, I have very heavy asthma since I was a toddler, so I always had to keep an inhaler for emergencies with me. But one day, some classmates thought they could mess with it. So the cast of characters includes an entitled teacher, a classmate 1, where classmate 1 is a girl who could be nice for like a minute, and a total B the rest of the time. Classmate 2 was our own class clown, and was popular because he only did this type of class clown stuff and could never behave himself. Also, the Barbies, which were the friends of the classmate 1, her squad. And I am a rainbow pooping unicorn in space, duh. So those are the cast of characters. An unusually summer day in May, shortly before recess, I had problems catching my breath for a few days. But this day it was really worse. We had to work on some tasks and be quiet while the teacher was away for a few minutes. Suddenly, classmate 2, the class clown, was standing beside my table, and before I could say anything, he had snatched my asthma spray, which I always kept in my pencil case during class. Classmate 2 says, "Hey fatty, what's this for a toy? It looks funny." I say, "My medicine for my asthma and not a toy. I need it when I can't breathe properly. Please give it back." Classmate 2 says, "Not breathing properly? Never heard such a stupid story before, but maybe you're really just too stupid to breathe. You just don't want to share, so I'm keeping it, or I will told the teacher that you wanted to hit me." I say, "But that's not even true." Classmate 2 says, "So what? It's not like anyone here would believe you." Wow, this guy's really a horrible little kid. With that, he ran towards classmate 1, the girl who could be nice for a minute, to show her his newest acquisition. Classmate 2 says, "Hey, classmate 1, look what I took away from our whale over there. Do you know how to use this?" Classmate 1 says, "I think you have to press this and then something comes out." While they were fumbling with it, I was slowly getting an asthma attack and starting to panic. Probably because I knew I needed that frickin' spray and had no chance to get it back from those idiots anytime soon. A few moments later, classmate 1 began to scream, and classmate 2 threw the spray in my direction on the floor. Apparently, he somehow sprayed her in the face. Only seconds later, the teacher was back and asked what was going on. Classmate 2 pointing at me, "She attacked classmate 1 with that strange blue thing." Classmate 1, who was obviously okay now, said, "Yeah, that cow tried to kill me because nobody likes her." The Barbies, of course, agreed to her, and in the meantime, my attack had gotten worse. Me, whilst trying to get some air and grabbing my spray from the floor, "Not true," Classmate 2 stole it and they played with it. I sat here all the time. Classmate 1 said, "Stop lying." Entitled teacher said, "Everybody be quiet and now go to your seats." I finally taking my spray. Entitled teacher catching the spray from my hands. "Give me that. Your parents can pick it up tomorrow. You obviously don't know how to handle it. Also, you will go to the principal for attacking a weaker classmate." Oh my gosh. Did I mention that this teacher hated me? I said, "But..." Entitled teacher says, "No but. I have all the evidence here. Now go." After that, I got out of the room to go to the principal. When I arrived there, I was looking like I could suffocate any second. And the secretary handed me immediately a replacement spray that my parents had given them for emergencies, like when my spray was empty or forgot it at home. A minute later, the principal came out of his office. Luckily, he was always nice to me and knew that I would never harm any other kids. He just told the secretary to call my parents and that I would be in the local hospital, where he shortly brought me by himself because it was just like 500 meters to the hospital. End of story. Classmate 1 and classmate 2 got detention, and classmate 2 was suspended from school for 2 weeks. In the end, they confessed after a little rage speech from the principal. Too long didn't read. Stupid little kid takes my asthma spray. I almost die. Principal saves the day. End of story. Wow. Whoa. You know what? As I was reading this story, I read faster and faster because I was like, man, this is horrible. And you know who I actually blamed the most? I blamed that teacher. My gosh. That's horrible. Jeez. I'm just so shocked at that. I guess back in 2003, people weren't as knowledgeable as they were now about like allergies and about asthma. That's horrible. Oh my gosh. All right, let's hope that story 2 is kind of more fun and not disturbing. But yeah, I mean that got my blood boiling, that first story. All right. Entitled story 2. Entitled mom runs 4-way stop, T-bones my car, and then lies to police. Okay, Reddit. This mother effer hit me today, so I'm pretty effing heated right now. So please excuse any spelling words or word jumble because I swear I almost choked an Abby Lee Miller looking soccer mom today and was willing to take the prison sentence for self-gratification that some form of justice would be served. Since my high school days, I moved to the East Coast. Would not recommend, by the way. And the drivers here range from acceptable to I just got my license for my 16th birthday drivers. With 95 and everything, it effing sucks. So anyways, I was dropping a friend's sibling off at soccer practice because coincidentally, she needed to get her front bumper fixed from a fender bender she was in. Now, I have a perfect driving record. No accidents to speeding tickets. Only one non-moving traffic violation because I borrowed my dad's car and a taillight was out. And I pay for my own car and car insurance. Rest in peace to my bank account. So anyway, I drop my friend's sister off and pull up to a 4-way stop since her soccer fields are right next to an apartment complex. I stop at the stop sign and another car pulls up, a nice black BMW. I remember my mom always joked, don't screw around with nice cars. The owners probably have lawyers on retainer for car accidents. It's a joke, but still. I see her come to a complete stop since we pulled up around the same time, and I start to go through the stop sign when I just feel a wham and my car gets pushed back. Out of panic, I pull my emergency brake to stop my car, and I get out to see my driver's side back door. Back bumper and taillight are screwed. I run over to the mom, totally pissed, and before I could even get a word, She starts screaming at me like a banshee. She starts saying things like, "Do you know how unsafe that was? Why didn't you stop at the stop sign? What is your problem?" And is screaming in my face. I look over in her car and her maybe 12-year-old looking son is just staring at us with wide eyes like he's in shock or something like that. I start screaming back that I had come to a complete stop first and that it felt like she floored the brakes when I was halfway through the intersection. And she got red in the face and started saying, "I'm accusing her of sabotage and she'll sue me for every penny I have." She was screaming so aggressively at me that I decided to call the cops. I wasn't going to give this bat case my insurance information. She gets on her phone and calls her husband, screaming to him, but I just ignore her. I go back into my car, lock all my doors, and blast FGL until the sheriff, who was very cute I would like to add, arrives. When he gets there, this horrible lady with acrylic nails starts yelling in his face about how I ran the stop sign and I'm probably an uninsured driver, etc., etc. I just stood there looking defeated because I knew the cop was going to take her side since I'm technically an inexperienced driver. Still, I patiently waited my turn, and when he addressed me, I explained my side of the story, practically in tears, and he looked over back at the mother and then looked at our cars. He evaluated the accident. There was no one else at the intersection except us, unless a resident in the apartments right next to the fields saw something. He pulls over, he looks over everything and then suggested we should switch insurances and discuss with our agent. The woman scoffs and pulls out a state insurance card, which is essentially minimum coverage insurance, and then I come in hot with my insurance card with my AAA roadside assistance number. She suddenly got really pale, realizing I am insured and my rinky little Toyota Corolla is protected, as am I. I start writing down her info, and she takes a pic of my card while the cop wrote some stuff down. By the grace of God, or whatever forces rules this universe, an apartment security guard pulls up. He gets out and asks what is going on, and the cop explained it to him, and he said very matter of fact, "Oh, well, we have security cameras at this intersection just for this reason. I can take you back to the guard gate and we can look them over." Suddenly, this beached whale looked terrified and said she had to take her son to soccer and he was on the elite team and was already late, to which the cop said smugly, "No worries, ma'am. If your car drives, go drop him off. We'll wait and then go review the tapes." She gave us all a dirty look. I took a pic of the collision really quickly and then she headed over to the fields, the cop driving behind her, maybe to make sure she didn't drive off, I don't know. We all pull up to the guard gate and he asked the time of collision. I told him, and in about 15 seconds he pulled up the video. The video clearly showed me coming to a complete stop first, and then she did, and then me going through the intersection, and like I thought, her flooring her gas pedal and rear-ending me. She immediately started making some BS excuse about her son has autism and he was panicking because he was going to be late for practice, to which the officer kindly said, "He seemed perfectly calm to me during the entire exchange." The cop wrote some more stuff down, and then I called AAA and insurance to tow my car and to get me a rental until I could get repairs done. Since I am not at fault, I'm not sweating this in the slightest. Moral of the story: don't break the law. I don't know what she was thinking or thinking she could get out of this, but ended up getting the short end of the stick. Thanks for reading. A couple of updates. First, I decided to wait on the date. Even though a friend of mine's dad told me it's not a really big problem, and to correct. He's a deputy sheriff. I wanted to wait until my claim is settled to avoid conflict of interest. I'm young and didn't understand that. 2, I won't take her to court. I don't have time for that. I just want my car fixed. 3, I removed some statements in this post because they were mean-spirited. I wrote this in anger originally and it was not necessary. Okay, the end. Wow, that's pretty interesting. This person, sounds like a pretty young person, but sounds very thoughtful, I guess, because even in writing this post, the person wanted to exercise a level of restraint. So I'm pretty impressed by this. So, what did you guys think of today's stories? Did you guys enjoy them? I hope you guys found these stories insightful, if not a little bit horrifying. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this time. And if you like these stories, please subscribe to this channel and hit the like button, please. All right, I'm the Internet Storyteller, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.